All right. Hello, everybody. I am coming to you to introduce you to my YouTube channel. It is called Call to Purity, and it is directly named after the call to purity that God has assigned to me to send out to you. So that's what this channel is going to be about. And this isn't purity in the way that we typically come to think of it or come to know of it. This is not about sexual purity. This is about a lifestyle of purity. And there are three parts to this. The first part is purity in your relationship with God, and that purity is authenticity, vulnerability, and returning to a place of nakedness in our relationship with God, because that is what He's wanting. The second part is living a life of purity. And the life of purity directly ties into a pure, authentic, genuine, naked relationship with God, because you're not able to live a life of purity on your own. And you have to have a pure relationship with God in order to sustain a lifestyle of purity, because God is who gives you the strength to be able to live that lifestyle. However, if you are not exposed before Him, if you don't expose those weaknesses in your relationship to Him, then He's not able to come into that place and manifest His strength, so that you are then able to go ahead and to live a pure life, which is what He is wanting from His people. And the third aspect of this is relationships, specifically romantic relationships. It's something that God has been dealing with me real heavily concerning, because He wants kingdom relationships. He doesn't want us just linking up with any old body. And apparently, it must be an issue within the body of Christ if it's something that He's put on me. This is not something I never, ever, ever saw myself having a relationship ministry of any kind. I never saw myself being the one to touch on relationships. I'm single as a Pringle, so I'm kind of like, who am I? But God has sent the call to me, so I have to respond. I have been running from it. This has taken so long because I did not want to do this. Because you get a lot of flack when you tell folks how they should and should not be doing relationships. This is really important. And it is detrimental, because the person that we connect ourselves to as believers will directly impact our purpose. And it's either going to be for the good or for the bad. And you have to remember, the person that you marry, because we don't get in relationships just to be preoccupied with the person. We get in relationships for and with the purpose. God has assigned that person to you and you to that person. So you both play a part in each other's purposes. So, who you decide to link up with, you are allowing that person a space and a place in a position to be able to impact your purpose. And it's either going to be for the good or for the bad. And as believers, we should be living our lives for the glory of God. So you're responsible for ensuring that the person that you get with is going to help impact your purpose for the glory of God, to give God greater glory. And if they're not doing that, then it can't happen. Like, we have to get to the bottom line, period, of this thing as believers, because we are responsible for the glory of God, for giving God glory here on this earth. We are not our own. We are simply vessels for Christ, and vessels for God to use, vessels for God to manifest Himself through into the earth. That's our job. That's our responsibility. And if you have the Spirit, if you're spiritual, if you've been in church, then you know that we are very, 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 very close to time. And the purpose of all of this is to help us clean it up, so we can be ready for the season that's coming, which is the season before He gets here. So that's it. Welcome. Call to Purity. My name is Zephaniah, and Let's do it.